important date for all of us here, the 1965 Immigration Act, because finally they removed race as a basis for immigration. And that means that it opened up the gates for the Philippines, the South Koreans, and the Vietnamese refugees to come here. So that meant that 170,000 immigrants could start coming into America. Now, granted, they were looking for the desirables, the doctors, the lawyers, the nurses, the artists, and things like that. But still, it opened the gates, and especially for the Vietnamese refugees. Another thing that we should be mindful of is the early political clout that we had. And the Indians should be very, very proud of this gentleman, Dalit Singh San, who was elected to the U.S. Congress from California. I guess we have to move around, or the lights think that we went to sleep. And if you look at Hawaii, you have Inoue, Matsunaga, and Takemono Mink, who were elected to Congress. And then Patsy Mink became the first Asian American. So back then, pioneering in 1964. And of course, since then, we have hundreds of Asians that are participants in government, in politics, to ensure that we have a voice in government. Looking at Georgia just briefly now, isn't it hard to believe that we had immigrants, Asian immigrants, in the Civil War? I mean, you just don't hear about that very often. But after that, some of them came, some of the Chinese came to Georgia. They also worked on the Augusta Canal in 1873. And at the beginning of the 20th century, they congregated in 4 different cities: Atlanta, Savannah, Columbus, and Augusta. And of course, the jobs were very menial at that time. Laundries, restaurants, import, export, small businesses, but and farming, and that's how they made their living here in Georgia. And very close to Georgia Tech, not too far away, is the Greenwood Cemetery. And if you get a chance to go there, and especially those of you who are of Chinese ancestry, this is a wonderful memorial to all of us, because Mr. Tong was one of the first Chinese who prospered here early on in Georgia. And he bought a large tract and plots of land, not only for his family to be buried with dignity, but also for his community. So he left quite a legacy here in Georgia. Now, I'm going to take questions and answers after I show you a video. It's only less than 5 minutes, and it might be redundant in spots of what we've covered today, but it also goes into a little more about our contributions that we have made as Asian Americans. Dr. Jung-Ha Kim from Georgia State University wrote it, and then the foundation that Maiko and I have created, the Who's Who in Asian American Communities Foundation, we produced it. So if you take a look, please.